करारविन्देन पदारविन्दं मुकारविन्दे विनिवेशयन्तं वटस्य पत्रस्य पूतेशयानम्
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचारूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. So yesterday we already saw that finally he tells that make sure that you get your senses under control. One thing, Arjuna, which I am telling you, get your senses under control. And papmanam praja hi hyen, just kill, this sinful thing of senses. It will just kill. Jnana vijnana nashanam. It is the destroyer of reasoning and it is the destroyer of knowledge. It will destroy this completely. So today Shri Krishna says, Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya param manah manasastu para buddhir yo buddhir paratas tu sah. And then the next shloka says, Evam buddhir param bhutva sastabhyat manamaatmanah atmana jahi shatru mahabaho kamarupan durasadam. Evam buddhir param bhutva samstabhyat manamaatmana jahi shatru mahabaho kamarupan durasadam. And if you combine these two shlokas completely, it is almost what Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar ji says is the 7 levels of existence. So here he is basically saying in the last, in this particular shloka, that the senses are said to be greater than the body. But greater than the senses is the mind. So the sense objects, and then you say the body, but the senses are far greater than the body. But behind the senses, usse bhi sukshma, subtler than the senses is the mind. Subtler than the mind is the intellect. And subtler than the intellect is the self. This is what he is saying, para buddhi. Para buddhi is subtler than the mind is the buddhi. And yo buddhes paratastu saha, usse bhi subtle is the param paratastu saha. Saha, the swa, what do you say, swami, the sa of swast, this, that is the subtlest of the beings. And then he says, the next one, he says that is why Arjuna, knowing the self which is higher than the intellect and subduing the mind by reason, killed the enemy in the form of desire that is hard to overcome. And he is clearly giving a warning also. And he says this also, that, so here he says that atmana matmana. You remember we had done this. Through the self, know the self. That is, through the self only know the self. And this just completely slay this, desire. And then you can, and he also says that it is hard to conquer this, but completely slay this enemy, which is in the form of the desire. So he's here very interestingly saying that, here in India, they say that you can jail me, but you cannot jail my concepts, or you cannot prison my thoughts. Actually, it is like that. The body is one thing which is made up of mortar, plastic, and so the house, for example, is made up of bricks, mortar, cement. It is all, this is like, it's the body, it is the senses, it is the mind, it is the buddhi. But inside there is the master who sits, and that is the self. No one goes inside the house. Everybody is only outside the house. They are only looking at the decoration of the house, not knowing that inside the house there is a master. There is the self which is sitting inside. And that is something which you need to see. Then he says that, okay, there is the body, and then from the body it is coming to the mind, which is subtler than the body, and from the mind it comes subtler than that is the buddhi, the vivek. See, for example, you take your child and you go to a department store, and the child is running around. You also go around seeing everything. When you come back, the child remembers only one thing, the toy. That toy store, there was a robot which was automatic. When you ask him, kya dekha? It's a, and when someone asks you, what did you see? So if you are a man, you will say that I saw some gadgets, which was great. Maybe if you're an engineer. If you ask a woman, she'll say, I saw this beautiful purse. So who is the governor of this whole creation? The intellect is actually the governor, because inside the intellect, there is a discrimination which has been put. The man also saw the purse shop. The woman also saw the gadget shop, but she rejected the gadget shop and her mind stopped at the purse shop. So which means that first is the rejection and the selection. So they selected this. And from that selection of the purse, she selected one purse. Now when she selected one particular purse, it has gone into the mind. The mind is going to start thinking. You remember the shloka, dhyayato vishayan punsaha sangaste shupajayate. उसी को ध्यान करते रहेंगे. उसके बाद what will the senses say? I want this. Why? Because I will feel more beautiful, more powerful, more recognized in this world. So individuality is something which is associated to the sense organs. Your personal individuality. I'm not saying don't wear good clothes or something, but knowing this, that the governor is selecting something, beyond the governor, there is one similarity in all of us, which is the self. That's why he says that Atmana, like through the self, know the self. Through the self, by the self. Yeah, it says by the self, you know the self. That is the only way that you can, find that illuminating light within yourself. And how to do that? Kama Rupan Durasadam. Just, slay this desire completely, which is hard to kill. Your individuality, your ideas will not allow this desire, this to, go away. So here, this is how the entire thing he is saying of the Sukshma body from the gross to the Sukshma, from the gross to the subtle, and the subtlest of all, which runs through all of us. He's saying that is the self. That is nothing but the self. And they are not more powerful than you. Don't think like that. The senses are more powerful than yourself. It isn't. Let's see, you feel the world is so more powerful. Sense objects are so powerful. Imagine a blind man. Everything is closed for him. He doesn't see anything. Imagine the best of beauties also he can't see. So but it's possible that his mind is still running there. So beyond the sense objects, the mind is more powerful. Beyond the mind, the buddhi is more powerful, which has the level of discrimination. Here now in this chapter 3, he has given a lot of importance to this buddhi, the vivek, that you need to know what to select, what to reject. What to select, what to reject. And usually this is the difficult part, because the sense object sends some signal. Selecting the other thing looks very tough. Indulgence looks easy. And the pleasure for 3 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes looks more easier than the than the being without it. So here, that's why he's saying that install wisdom in this buddhi. Install this vivek in this buddhi. And this way he is saying this. So we say, Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Karma Yogo Nam Trutiyo Dhyayaha. Om Shri Krishnarpanam Astu. Harihi Om. Jai Gurudev.
वनमाला विराजितं शङ्खचक्रधरं देवं कृष्णं वन्दे